Hello everyone, Mike here with you guys once again, and this is going to be a first because last year has been so eventful, more so than any other year that I can remember. I mean, there have been years that have been stood out more than others, but this one in particular, 2017, things happened that I did not expect. By the way, I'm in my old room. I'm visiting Mom, exchanging presents, and things like that, because she was supposed to come to our house, but she wasn't feeling well, so I figured I'd bring the gifts to her. And I got hiccups during the video. Perfect timing. I just had a pizza, So 2017. Basically, I'm going to be talking about many of the major events that took place for me personally. This is not my review of the year as a whole. It's not a review for gaming in the year 2017. Nothing like that. It's all strictly personal. It's all about things that happened to me personally or involved me personally. That's what it's about. So, I would say the first major event that happened was my grandma passed away. Found it out while my wife, who was my fiance at the time, and our kid, we went to, we were on one of our many zoo trips. And while we were at the Stingray place, I got a call from my mom, and that's when I found out that my grandma had finally passed away. She'd been in a nursing home for a while. Her mind had already been gone. So it was finally her time where she finally gave out, and that was it. She was like in her 90s, so it was time. The sad thing about my grandma was that she was in good health for decades, all the way through up to her 80s. And then during her 90s, her pelvis broke, and then she got C. diff, and then age just finally caught up with her with a bam. And so that's what happened with that. We had a funeral. We buried her ashes at the Lutheran church across from the pool house. Then we went to Columbus Beach, and Cassie was there, my sister was there, my uncle was there. I mean, it was a nice time being with them, but the circumstances were definitely sad. It's a shame too, because my grandma never saw me get married. She never saw me go to college. And those are things that I know she would have wanted to see, had her mind still been intact. She would have liked to see the events of this year. So let's get to know Cassie more. As Cassie, continues to grow, and I know that my jacket is I'm wearing two jackets. It's that cold here. My jackets are it's like sticking out in one spot. So that was the first major personal event that happened to me. Was the loss of Grandma. Miss you. By the way, we just celebrated our first Christmas without her, so that's pretty sad to think about as well. See, the next big thing that happened that I can think of is moving out of this room after being in it since 1991 and being in this apartment since about 85, and being at Stonegate since 83. Finally moved out of my mom's house last year, 2017. I still think it's this year, even though it's last year, because this new year just started, so that was the next major milestone that took place. The reason for that was because my wife got lucky and was able to buy an entire house for just $8,000, I think. And the only thing she has to worry about is paying the property rent, which is like $300. Doesn't have to worry about, paying mortgage or anything like that, or paying rent for the house itself, just for the property that it's on. So that, I think, is what enabled us to manage. But also there was something else that took place before that I must mention. My wife got her Social Security. She finally won her case after years of fighting for it. She finally got her Social. So between buying the house and getting the Social, that was what enabled us to finally, move in together, which we were living together for like a month before we got married, which leads me into probably the biggest event of this year, and that was my marriage to my fiance. Ideen Ferris is real. she exists. There is a woman who's married to me. I never thought that I was going to get married. I never thought that anyone would want me. I still don't see why she does, or why she just didn't, disinterest, not kick me out of her life, but like after we broke up the first time, just, staying on friendly terms, but not be too close. No, she stuck around, and I'm thankful for that because she got me through a very rough spot that I've been in for a long time, that I finally felt like I gotten out of in late 2016. I finally realized that I was out of it completely, out of that dark emotional state that I was in. And also, I'll say this about the events of 2017 are connected to 2011. In fact, many of the big events of the decade were connected to 2011. And that's a topic from another video, how 2011 is really the start of the decade for my family personally, because there were three things that happened that led to the big changes that took place. And I would say 2017, and this is why I bring this up at this point, is the culmination, the final result of everything that 2011 started. Like I said, that's a topic from another video, but marriage was, I would say, the biggest thing. And it has been rough at times, but it's also been amazing at times. Some of the rough spots, I would say, I think the hardest spot was definitely when the tree came into our house, when the hurricane happened. I think that was the roughest part of the marriage so far, not living with my mom. Finances are also a problem sometimes. My work schedule is very unpredictable. We can get comfortable with a certain number of hours, and then they can shorten, and then they can lengthen after that. Who knows? Because it's an unpredictable job, basically, where I work at. So there have been times when she or I would reach our breaking point, and that's not fair to the kid, because we have to keep it together for him, and we don't always do that. But the good news is because there's two of us, it's less likely for us to lose it at the same time. There have been moments where that has happened, unfortunately, because we'll argue about something. But the cool thing about having me and her there for our kid is that if one of us is losing it, the other person still has it together and can keep things together for everyone. Nobody can be strong all the time. And that's why it's good to have another person there, so that when one person is at a weak spot, the other person can sort of pick up the slack and keep things going. Because, like I said, it's impossible to be strong all the time for anybody, and I would never ask anyone to do that, because I know I couldn't. But the hurricane, when the tree struck our house, went to our roof, I think that was probably the lowest point. I was happy to come to stay with Mom for a few days, but we just had no idea what we were going to do. But luckily, people helped us out. My mom helped us out. The government helped us out. Got to thank them too. FEMA, they stepped it up as well. So I usually don't thank the government very often, but I had to in this case. So now that's not the depressing stuff is out of the way. Let's talk about some of the cool things that happened. Well, I think one of the coolest things was definitely a year pass to Disney, where we can just go to Disney pretty much whenever we want. There are a few blackout days, but there's not a lot of them. So we have a whole year to go to Disney World for free whenever we want. That is freaking amazing, and I have been taking advantage of that. We all been taking advantage of that. I've been going thrill riding whenever I can. I have one park. There is one park that I have to go on the thrill rides at, but I have done all the other parks thrill rides. So it's just one park I left to do. I would say that's definitely one of the highest points of the marriage in year one, which isn't over yet because it won't be over until May, because that's going to be our first year anniversary, which, by the way, I should probably do a video on or something along those lines to talk about. In fact, this topic could easily be done in that video, that topic. But let's see, what else The cool thing was that the hotels we stayed at during when our home was destroyed, was damaged, was the hotels were nice. The first hotel was very richy rich, and the second one, not quite as rich, had a wonderful view of the lake. And I've showed that to you in one of my videos. You got to see the beautiful lake. That was just a breathtaking experience. We saw some movies, played some games. One of my highlights was getting the Xbox One X for my birthday, which is a wonderful surprise. Thank you so much, honey, for that. Let's see what else. I graduated from college. I have finished the course that I was taking. However, I am now preparing for the certification exam. So after the course, you got to take a certification exam for the field that I did. And so now I've been preparing for like a month on trying to get ready for that, because a college diploma is not the same as being certified. They're two different things, and you need both to make it in this field. So hopefully I'll be able to pass. I thought I'm going to be able to be certified. Can you imagine me being certified at anything? But then again, I couldn't imagine a woman being with me. So, the bilennium has been really weird and shocking in a lot of ways. The bilennium, which is 2010 to now. But yeah, I do have a college degree, and so that's nice and surprising. But I have that, so that's another positive aspect of the year, and and I got to thank my wife for that. I would not have done college without her. I would not have done college without her. I can tell you that right now. There's a lot of things that I would not have done without her. So, again, she continues to change my life in very drastic ways. It's scary, but also been very rewarding so far. Okay, let's see what else I can talk about that happened in 2017. Jeremiah got a Switch, and I thought that was pretty awesome. So we now have all three current gen consoles at our house. We have a PS4 Pro, an Xbox One X, and a Nintendo Switch. The Pro and the X are mine. The Switch is Alex's. You've seen him. He did an unboxing. He actually did an unboxing for all three consoles on this channel. So that's pretty awesome. And what's really interesting is how his voice changed, because if you watch the PS4 Pro unboxing and then watch the Xbox One X unboxing, you definitely can hear a change in his voice. His voice changed over the summer, just in time for middle school, and about time. It still cracks a lot, but it's not going to last forever. Just hang in there. All right, and I have more bunny shirts, and I have bunny stickers on my car now. And that's wonderful. It really is. Yay, bun. My wife complains about my bunnies, but yet she keeps telling me no bun, no bunnies in the bed, and all that. And she continues to give me bunny stuff. So in the end, she's still like, yeah, you can have your bun. Yay, bun! Point! But anyways, let's see what other things happened this year that I can think about. I know I'm leaving things out. I always do, and I always think of it after my video is uploaded. Let's see what else. I went to Daytona Beach this year. They parked their cars on the beach. I think the temperature, the waves are, it's cold. The ocean is colder than the Gulf, and the waves are much more aggressive in the ocean than the Gulf. Also, and this is important to note, going back to what I said about 2011, one of the things that happened, I'll say one of them because something happened this year that I need to mention. The person that convinced me to tell one of my high school crushes that I liked her, I didn't hear from that person for a while. I finally heard from her this year, so I was able to thank her because if she hadn't come along, I would not be married today. So I was really fortunate to be able to tell her what her actions led to as far as my life is concerned. So that was a nice thing as well. That's pretty much all I can think of right now. 2017 year in review. Definitely the most surprising year of my life. Even though we were planning this for years, it never ceases to amaze and shock all the things that have happened. What will 2018 bring? Will it get worse? Will things get worse? Will it get better? Will it be both? Will it get worse before they get better, or vice versa? Will only 2018 and beyond will tell. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in a future video. That is, as long as my internet provider allows me to do it, which they probably won't much longer, unless we can get net neutrality back, of course. But that's a whole other topic. Bye, guys.